praise the Lord, hallelujah, and thank you, Jesus. It's around that time right here on KAZ Radio where I have one of my most favorite shows, Pause, with Robyn and Honey. Take it away, Robyn.
Welcome. It is Monday, 7 o'clock, and it's time to take that pause with Robyn and Honey. We are here, situated in everything this week. We are on time. Look at us. We're doing good this week, honey. We are here this week for a very special to us show. And I actually want to pass this intro to Honey because this comes out of a very significant weekend. And so I am going to pass the intro to Honey after a very long weekend of events. So, Honey, you want to lead us into what our discussion is today?
Yeah, we are sitting here with a very powerful woman. I think you hear oftentimes behind every good man is a great woman. Besides every good man is a great woman. Leading, behind, next to, and I have had the privilege of both dining with, spending some time with. I'm challenged to call you Miss Charlene, Mama Bibb, which I heard a lot of people calling you that this week, but she is the mother of our newly sworn in mayor. So wherever we are, I'm going to do that, the applause. So to be in a position where we have just sworn in a new mayor, I've had the opportunity to hear her story, some of it, and I just thought it not robbery for her to join us. And there's some things I'm telling you, if you're tuned in, you need to phone a friend, you need to call some people and tell them to get on, because there are some very, very powerful nuggets within this powerful woman within her own right, and I guarantee you, beyond a shadow of a doubt, that you're going to glean some things today. So thank you so much for joining us.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
I'm happy to be here. Thank you so much for the opportunity to come and share your platform and just have a conversation about our journey.
Yep. And here's one of the great things, and this is for the rest of your life, people are going to ask you about Justin. Guess who I really want to know about today? I want to know about you. Side deal, we want to know about you. Because had there not been a you, and of course the other supporters of him, but it is your journey and your sacrifice, and I don't want to give too much of your story. But I am really, Robyn and I both, we've had some conversations about you. You made that type of impact.
You have an amazing story. Yeah. We're not going to tell your story, but you got an amazing, we're going to let you tell whatever you want to tell of your story, but just, it is girl son who I think he'd be a knucklehead every now and then. But no, he's very brilliant, and just hearing about you and your story as a mother, it inspired me, because you just don't realize how you have to vision yourself, the stuff that you do in order to set the path for your child. Absolutely. And so it wasn't just about what he did, but it was all about what you did. So where do you want to start?
Well, I think when, I'm going to be honest, when God blessed me with Justin, I didn't really realize at first the gift. And then, of course, as a woman, we have our struggles, and not knowing where we fit in. And then finally, God spoke to me and said, I gave you this gift. How dare you squander it? So with that being said, I had to get myself together because God didn't give me the gift for him to become a statistic.
There you go.
So if I wasn't together enough to raise him properly, he would eventually become a statistic.
Right.
And that wasn't what God, that wasn't the assignment that God gave me. So I had to put myself aside and do the things that I needed to do for me in order to be a good mom to him. And I take motherhood very seriously.
Yeah.
I believe that that's the most important job any woman could ever have, is to be a mother. Is to be a mother of a son is even more of a responsibility, because we all know that men are the leaders of the home. So if they are not raised properly in order to take their stance in society, then where's society gonna be?
Right.
Yeah.
You know, so if you're not raising them to be the man of the home and raising them to have work ethics and be a man of integrity and knowing how to treat his wife and raise and treat his children and go to work and bring the money home and pay the bills and know that you're supposed to pay the bills.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
What do you have?
Yeah.
You have a whole nother generation of men that don't know how to be men.
Right.
So let me ask you this, because it was one of the amazing things you said when we were at lunch. You said, you know, honey, I raised him to be the man of the house.
Yes.
And sometimes as women, you hear people fight against that whole piece. A woman can't raise a young man, and you definitely can't raise him to be the man of a house because he's a boy.
Yes.
How do you speak towards always knowing that you were raising a leader?
Well, Justin and I became a team very early on because of our struggles. So things that I didn't know, he knew. A prime example, I was in school. I think I was in Ursuline. I was at Ursuline College at the time, getting my social work degree. I knew nothing about computers. Justin had been doing computers ever since he was in preschool. So I needed to buy a computer. So we went to Circus City. Justin walking in, spoke to the man. I need this megabyte, that megabyte, this megabyte. Do you have it? The salesman says yes. And he turned to me, pay the man. Okay, I paid him. We came home. We was living in the attic at the time. He set the computer up, and we continued on with my schoolwork and typing up my papers, and at the end of the day, I was able to complete Ursuline and graduate with my bachelor's degree in social work. Without Justin, that probably would not have happened.
Wow.
We were a team.
I laugh because I think about, there's some things I think in young men that are natural instinct. And if you don't pay attention, or if you have control issues, you won't let that just natural instinct happen. And I chuckle because I think about my son, and he will just sometimes snatch something out of my hand and just give me that, mom, you know, and just because it's just natural, and they just do.
Yeah, and I think he was maybe 13, 12 when that happened, and I was completely all right with it because I knew that, again, we was in this together.
Right.
And when I shared that with people, they was like, well, how did you allow this young kid to tell you what to do? Well, at the end of the day, if you are a part of the team, there's no big I's and little U's. You are all working for the same goal together. And that's just the way it's been. And I remember one time he decided again he was going on a missions trip to Taiwan.
He decided.
He decided. I was like, Justin, how are we going to pay for a missions trip? I don't know. Jesus will find a way, but I'm going on this missions trip to Taiwan. I was like, okay. So he was able to raise the money with some help from me, and he went to Taiwan on a missions trip with the church.
How old was he?
He was, I believe he was maybe a sophomore in high school.
Okay.
I was like, well, what if I say no? Well, you're not going to say no. You know,
Mom gonna say you can't go serve the Lord.
Yeah,
right.
It's like if Jesus said I should go on this missions trip, so I get to go. So it was those things that helped me and helped him to prepare him for this moment. But I just believe that when we have children, it is our moral obligation to give them our best.
Yeah.
You know, and not always think about, well, I have to put me in the equation. You're already in the equation because you're the mom.
Yeah.
And in order for things to turn out the way they're supposed to turn out and the way God wanted to turn out, you got to do what's right.
I think in today's society, that is a lost message right now. Mothers don't realize the mission that they have before them and that sacrifice that they have to put up to raise their children. That me first is not, no. You have you're setting the tone for the next generation. And so you do have to sacrifice a little. It's only for a little while. They grow up so fast.
And for me, the rewards far outweigh what I've given up.
Yeah.
You know, just to be able to see my son go to the college of his choice, to see him graduate, to be there by his side, to see him eventually have his dream job.
Yeah.
You know, all those rewards are great. That's worth more than anything. You know, I mean, who wouldn't want to be on the front row of that journey?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So when Honey asked me, well, what about me? What about me? Because I've been on one amazing journey, you know, after another, just by the fact that I'm Justin's mom.
Yeah.
You know,
Michelle Draper says he was a visionary and a leader, and I would venture to say you were a visionary and a leader as well. That you could see that there was something great in your son, and that you were able to say, okay, I got to pour into this,
right?
That I'm raising to give him a better future.
And I always, even when Justin was a little guy, I always told him he was destined for greatness. I raised him to believe that he was destined for greatness, and that half measures avail you nothing. So you had to always step up no matter what. You couldn't give up. You could not say, I don't want to do this no more because of A, B, and C. You always had to finish the task because that's what men do. That's what women do. And even though I remember one of my professors, I'm kind of jumping around.
You're fine. You're fine.
One of my professors, it was discovered, even though I knew it, that I had a learning disability. So I was midway through my degree at Ursuline, so I had to have special accommodations to, take tasks and stuff like that. So all my colleagues, all my classmates were going on to get their master's degree. We all know that without a master's degree in social work, you can do some work, but you will never get the level of pay that you deserve. You know, so you would always kind of sort of be on the struggle bus as a social worker. But so she told me, you're going to graduate with your bachelor's, but I don't suggest you go for your master's. That literally destroyed my whole senior year at Ursuline. But I graduated.
What's her name? No, I'm just kidding. Just kidding.
I graduated, and I sat out for a year, and I said to myself, I'm not going to let this woman tell me what I cannot do.
Come on now. Come on.
After all that I've been through, I got my degree. I started from C. Jane Run.
There you go.
At community college,
All right.
C. Jane Run, to all the 09 courses, graduating from community college, graduating from Ursuline, and you're gonna say to me that I can't get my master's?
Right.
I don't think so.
All right now.
So speaking on that, how can you, or what words of encouragement, because we talked a little bit about illiteracy, how do we go from being really unable to read and write, graduating high school, to navigating where you are now?
Well, what happened was, and this was a tremendous injustice, and that is, number one, I believe the school system failed a whole generation of students like myself. They wasn't able to see or address learning disabilities. So you go through the classes, you pass, you get into these these vocational stuff that gives you all these points, enough to allow you to graduate. So you go on and graduate. You have a job, so you're still able to cover it up, because you never put yourself in a position where anyone discover your deficiencies.
Right.
Until you're faced with having to read a story to your child and you can't do it. You find yourself stuck at a job that you hate, and because you don't have the proper skills to navigate other situations, you stay there. And you constantly, you year after year after year, and the cycle continues and continues and continues. And then you look up one day and you like, I hate my life. I know that I can do better than this, but due to the fact that you're so stuck, it takes something like having to recreate yourself. And come to the realization that even though you knew long time ago, I knew long time ago that I had to start all over. But having someone like Justin that I had to be able to navigate, to force me to say, I need to go back to school. I need to be educated. I need to be able to speak to whoever I need to speak to. I need to be able to understand what he's going to do if he's going to be an educated man. Because if I'm not educated,
That's powerful.
then I'm going to be left out of his world.
Yeah.
How am I going to be left out of my?
Right.
That's powerful. That's powerful.
That's your
It's
baby.
not going to happen.
Right.
You're not going to leave me behind.
Absolutely. If I could stick a half pen in that for somebody, just a half pen, sometimes what it is that you're birthing. So we're all outside of ourselves. We're looking for answers, and what you need is already in you.
God
You
gave it to
birthed
me. Yeah,
your
God,
destiny.
God, without Justin Morris Bibb, I don't know where I would be.
Ain't about to get me started. Come on now.
Right.
I honestly do not know where I would be, because he gave me, God gave him to give me life.
We talk about, in counseling, we talk about emotional, I forget what it's called, emotional something. You know, mothers have the ability to lift a car when it comes to their children. Emotional mind. You know, we don't think rationally sometimes. We don't have the rational thoughts of that's impossible. When it comes to our children, there's no impossibility when it comes to our children. So when that's where all that doubt went out of your head, because now you're birthing a child. And what do you mean? I got to learn how to read. I got to be able to. I'm not going to be uneducated with this child. All that impossibility was gone, and you were able to lift a truck.
Come on.
And
so that you can be there for him.
It was, and as time went on, and as he became more educated, and he became more involved in politics, I had to become more involved. I had to understand what it meant to listen to financial advisors on the news, and understand what was going on in Afghanistan, and understand what this bill was about and that bill was about, so I could be able to have intellectual conversations with him. So in return, I could go anywhere and talk to anybody about anything, because I was literally forced to do it in order to continue to have this back and forth relationship with my son.
Can we talk a little bit about his education? How did you get to the decision, because I found some of this very powerful, to put him in private school, and then what did you have to sacrifice to maintain that private school education?
Well, he went to kindergarten at Corlett, and he had a kindergarten teacher, and she just fell in love with Justin, and she says one day she told me he would never survive here. That only thing that I'm teaching is social skills, and those skills Justin don't need. So with that being said, I was making $7.42 an hour. Fortunately, he had a father. We were divorced, and he was able to pay a nice child support. So instead of taking that child support, paying rent, buying a car, doing this, that, and the other, I took that child support and paid for his private school education. When he wanted to keyboard lessons, that's why we paid keyboard lessons. When he wanted to play the saxophone, that's how I rented the saxophone for him to pay for the lessons. When he wanted to go to camp for 2 weeks in the summertime, that's how we paid for that. So it was never about me having a fancy car or living in a fancy apartment or having hundreds of pairs of shoes, or being able to go get my hair done every 2 weeks. Or all the things that we do, we can do when we have a little extra money.
Right.
All of it always went towards him, his care, his aspirations, and his need.
That's a word right there. That's a pause right there. Just what are you pouring back into your children? You know, are you buying Jordans? Jordans are nice. Are you putting aesthetics into your child? Are you teaching him music, arts? Are you teaching him life skills? Are you teaching them something that's going to benefit them in the long run? you know, a lot of times we get caught up in the superficial.
Yeah.
When it comes to our children, this next generation, you know, the schools are cutting out the arts,
Yeah.
the public schools. So are you buying them the lessons to get them into the arts? Are you, you know, what are you doing to sacrifice for your children? That is something to pause and think about.
Yeah, we even one class I took at Ursuline was, you know, we all had to take these. It wasn't Ursuline, it was community college. We had to take these humanities classes where we go to the art museum, and I would drag Justin right along with me to the art museum, and we would spend the whole day looking at different art projects and different artists and looking them up. And right today, he loves art. He loves books. We used to go to the library, and even the library that he was initially sworn in, he spent a lot of days there. And we would go and get laundry baskets full of books. So today, he has a whole wall of a personal library that he has collected over the years because of his love for books.
Who takes books to London? I mean,
Justin.
Who takes? I laughed when I heard that. Like,
We spent, and when I thought about it, I was like, Justin, why did we spend well over $1,000 shipping books to London? He was like, Ma, I don't know. But he had to have his books wherever he goes, wherever he lives. We have to pack those books up so they can be his.
Wow, that's powerful.
Yeah,
That's
and
powerful.
it's just I think that being able to allow our children to see the world outside of their own neighborhood, to know that it's another world out there.
Yeah.
So if they know that it's another world out there, then they're going to really try to get to that other side.
Sure.
They're going to feel that there's some hope. Let me get through high school. Let me get to college so I can see this other world out there. But if you only see what you see every day, that's poverty, destruction, degradation, nobody doing nothing, then your worldview is very narrow.
Yeah.
And I swore that was not going to happen. That maybe I watched too many soap operas.
Well, clearly it worked, so let me tune in.
It ain't too much.
I watched too many soap operas. But I knew that it was something else out there, you know. So he liked to travel. I love to travel, you know. I know that, and I'm kind of skipping around.
You're fine.
But
No, you're not.
now, since I've done my 1-2 with him, I feel like this is my time to do the things that I enjoy doing. So we in 2019, I went on a church trip to Egypt for 2 weeks.
Nice.
At first, he was like, because he's a financial advisor, he was like, that's not a good use of your funds, of the funds. Oh, for real?
As you pack.
I said, so if I can go, if I work, save all my money up from my vacation buyout, all my mileage, and from my second job, I can go to Egypt, right? He was like, yeah. So that's what I did.
Okay.
So I went to Egypt for 2 weeks. It was an amazing trip. It let me know that it's a great big world out there, and it's things that we all deserve to see.
Deserve to see.
Deserve
Deserve.
to see. We deserve to see the pyramids. We deserve, if that's what we choose to do.
Right.
We deserve to take a cruise on the Nile and put our feet in the Nile.
Ooh,
We deserve
You're
those
preaching
things
good.
because after everything's said and done, if we have taken care of what we needed to take care of as moms,
Yeah.
now it's time for us to do the things
Come
that
on
we
now.
want to do, you know, and live the life that we want to live.
Right.
Not saying that I didn't live the life that I wanted to live, but now I'm in the second
Right.
phase. So now it's time for me to get some business.
Right.
Come on.
You know
Right.
what I mean?
Get you some
So,
Right.
so I went. My luggage got lost, but I still had a good time.
Good.
And it was an amazing trip. And I said that to say that my hope and my prayer is that I continue to have international travel.
Yeah.
You know, that I get the chance to go to Korea. I get a chance to go to Morocco or places like that. I don't necessarily have to sit at home and wait for someone to come along to give me these things. I think I can do it for myself.
One of the most powerful things you talked about, and I agree with you totally, when we were together, one of the pieces I incorporated in the Poetica was kind of humorous, was your son's initial desire for sports.
Oh, yeah.
He was going to be the next LeBron
Oh, yeah.
James.
Yeah.
But his headstrong piece, I want to talk a little bit about that, but also when it comes down to his decision for school, how did you balance being as strong as you are with when he made up his mind when it came to college, or he made up his mind holding on as long as he could to his sports? How did you balance what you saw for him versus what he thought he saw for him, including like the sports at that time?
Well, I think the sports thing kind of started when he was like in 8th grade. So we did the different sports camps, the basketball camps, the baseball camps. We did all that jazz. So then when he went to high school, he started playing basketball and baseball, and he loved basketball. But so I think it was his sophomore year he messed up his meniscus. So then we ran backwards and forwards to the sports therapy and this, that, and the other. And then we went and got private lessons, basketball lessons. We did all that. And he never was able to get back to where he was that day that he messed up his meniscus. So we were sitting in my little raggedy car, and I told him, I was like, look, after we spent the weekend with Hoop Dreams, we did all that.
Forced his mama to watch Hoop Dreams.
Hoop Dreams. I says, look, you are not going to be another LeBron James.
Yes, I am, Mama.
It's not going to happen. You're not going to get a D1 scholarship playing no basketball in nobody's school. That's not going to happen. You done. I'm not going to another game. We're not spending another dollar. We're not doing no more practices. You're done. It's over. Finished. Let me tell you what you're going to do. You are an excellent writer. You're an excellent speaker. You have a more obligation to give back to your community. And you need to try out for mock trial. Oh, you're going to be a lawyer. That's your dream, not mine. Well, it's going to be my dream till it becomes yours. You're going to try out for mock trial tomorrow, and we're going to go from there. But this rodeo is over.
You just had it at that point.
Done.
Because it was a change in the tide. You spoke all kinds of life into this boy since he was born. You done told us you could do, but at this point you said, you know what? All right,
We're done.
We've done enough of
And
this.
he went on. What's so wonderful about him, he listens.
Okay.
And he tried out for mock trial. Of course, he bombed. He didn't get on. But he did see someone that was was canvassing and volunteering for West Park. And that's what inspired him for politics.
Oh.
And that's what started our journey.
Oh, wow.
And he got elected to look up to Cleveland. And at that point, he took his journey in his own hands.
Okay.
And I took a back seat. And I began to take instructions on the rules of engagement when we enter a room.
Oh,
You
okay.
know, or just take a seat and wait till I get finished because I'm working this room right now. So
Oh, wow.
that's how it's like it just shifted. And I was okay with it. So when it was got to be 11th grade, we were looking at colleges, and of course the local colleges sends the paper. Well, you can get this money, and I'll give you this kind of money if you come to my school. He says, look, I'm not about to haggle with you or my father with where I'm going to school. I'm going where I want to go. Bottom line, and you can throw that crap in the garbage because I'm not going. We looked at 3 schools, Marquette, Loyola, in Chicago, and American University. He had already spent 6 weeks at Georgetown, so he had already had the DC feel, so he already knew where he was going. I'm going to American University. I'm applying to early decisions. Give me your tax records, and we're done. Okay. Here. I gave them to him. He signed the name on the dotted line. I helped out where I could with books and blah, 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 blah. But his education,
He paid for it.
he paid for it.
He was that serious.
He was that serious. He paid for it. And in hindsight, I'm glad he did. Because that's your education. That's your responsibility. Why should you feel as though your parents should pay for your entire education?
Right. Or make the decision. I think
To
a lot
make
of
you
time-
made the decision.
Right.
This is where you're going. You don't want to have a discussion about it, then that's fine. I support you.
Right.
I want you to go there. I know I don't have $50,000 a year to send you.
But the beauty of that, you lit the fire when you
Yeah.
made that decision. Sports are done. You lit the fire that I'm going. It was a line in the poem that says something. When it was the end of being a player, you put what was necessary for him to be the mayor.
Yeah.
You started it right there. And he said, okay, you told me I have the helm. Now I got the helm.
And from that point on, and then for me, what if I got sick, lost my job? What if his dad got sick, and his dad did get sick his second year, and he couldn't really go back to work, and his education depended on us.
Yeah.
Now, this way, his education solely depended on him.
Wow.
He was
He
responsible.
Took control of it. And
He took control, and from that point on, Justin was in control of whatever he wanted to do in his life.
wow.
One of the most powerful things, I did tell Robyn this, I probably regurgitated our whole lunch with Robyn afterwards, that you said. It was so powerful. I called one of my friends in Florida and told her to. You said when Justin became 18, I think, you changed your name. Or I think
I went back to Nichols.
You went back to Nichols. The power of that for a mother, a single mother, one of the most powerful things I've ever heard in my life. And I don't think you probably even
Well,
powerful.
Professionally, I wanted to be known as Charlene Nichols Bibb. When I graduated with my bachelor's and my master's, I wanted to be Charlene Nichols. It was for me.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't because I was married to someone.
Mm-hmm.
It was, I wanted to be in the name that I was birthed with.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, I never dropped Nichols. It was always Charlene Nichols Bibb.
Mm-hmm.
Because that was my birth name.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And yeah.
To give him the identity to still hold on to until he was cemented himself.
Yes.
And then to step and say, okay, now I can go, and that is how you sacrifice as a mother.
Yeah.
Those are the sacrifices when you stood up there Saturday, and I'm watching him. I'm not talking to the audience. I'm only looking at him and you. And on stage, I'm looking directly at him. My side is turned most of the time. I'm sitting and I'm thinking, wow, how must this feel to have birthed this chapter in your life? And the words that every time I've talked to you, how you referenced him, you said you call him the love of your life.
He is the love of my life.
And you said that Saturday.
He is. It's no outside of Jesus.
No.
No other person that walks this earth
Mm-hmm.
that I love or adore more than Justin. And that might sound corny,
That's
No,
not.
no.
Sounds
you
beautiful.
know, but
Sounds beautiful.
No.
he's just,
And the other thing you said, and I keep putting your words back to you, Robyn, I shared this with you, so it's okay. You said once he successfully took this position to a degree to the city,
yeah,
that you're 5 times talking to him a day.
yes.
Now
And I'm
it's down
struggling. And honestly, I'm struggling.
Mm.
I mean, he would be the first person that I talk to in the morning,
Oh my goodness.
at least 3 or 4 times, and the last person I speak to at night.
Mm-hmm.
And now we might get a minute, 2 minutes at the end of the day,
Yeah.
you know, and I'm struggling.
Yeah.
I'm literally struggling. It's like, I need to find me a project. You know, and I felt a struggle on Christmas Eve because for 30 years, every Christmas Eve, we would go shopping.
Mm-hmm.
And we would shop. We would have either a late lunch or early dinner. We would go to Christmas Eve service with my mom.
Mm-hmm.
We would come back, wrap our gifts, have a little ham, little potatoes. We had this ritual
Yeah, yeah,
for 35 years.
yeah.
Just me and him.
Mm-hmm.
And this Christmas Eve, we had the detail with us,
Oh.
all in the mall.
Mm.
So we couldn't, you know,
Do your
I
normal.
couldn't be all spastic.
Yeah.
You know, like, oh, let's do this, let's do that. And I just sat down and I started crying because I knew
Everything's
that this was going to be the last time that we would get a chance to go to the mall on Christmas Eve. And he was like, why are you crying in the mall? That's so inappropriate. I was like, this is not a good experience.
He don't get it. He don't get it.
You know, he was like, you know, you're just such a child. Because I'm the first person up on Christmas morning. Oh, let's open up our gifts. Because we'll open up our gifts before everybody get there. If we're hosting Christmas, we'll open up our gifts together, the gifts that we give each other. We'll open up those gifts together. And he was like, you are just such a child. I know I'm such a child, but this is what I'm used to. And so, yeah.
He'll understand when he have his kids.
Yeah.
And he gonna be like, why y'all not excited? You know, I got kids and I got teenagers who think that I'm just too extra too. So they'll understand when it's their turn and they like, y'all don't want to do something. Y'all don't want to, you know.
But it was a reckoning of the fact that he no longer belongs solely to me.
Well, thank you for your gift. Thank you.
No, seriously, you gave him to the city.
Seriously, you have given your son to the city, and you have to, in this whole new, especially this whole first year of newness, and a type of transition and a type of grief, and in an appropriate way, I mean inappropriately, you birthed this wonderful gift that you give to us. And I said it Saturday, and I mean it, with ill regard to how, I don't care if this is a Republican issue, a Democratic issue, this is change. And this city needed change.
Yeah.
He said it all throughout his campaign, change couldn't wait.
Yeah.
And you shaped change, and you did a good job carrying change. Like an egg, like a precious, I'm gonna keep this change together. That ain't happen by itself.
Yeah.
And so everything you feel, Mama, is appropriate.
Yeah.
Every bit of it.
Yeah.
And that you continue to sacrifice even your time being here today.
Yeah.
You could have said, I know how tired I was last week just getting ready for this tremendous journey. It was exhausting. So I know you're in that same boat. You could have said Monday, I did sleep a lot of the day. I'm staying in the bed. I'm not. I'm going to come out and continue to share what you're doing. That's a ministry within itself.
Yeah.
And you did nothing right now without trying. You just furthered why I said, I want to talk about your son, but I really want to talk to you.
Yeah.
You just furthered that.
Yeah.
Lady Gilmore is giving lots of love and comments in the comment section towards you. Lady Gilmore is a community mother. So if you have not met her, she's encouraging you about your teachings about your son, and she's saying you're a mama. And maybe that is going to be your filler, is that you're going to wind up also spreading a lot of love and motherly love in the community in your newfound position, because you have been promoted as well.
Absolutely, Robyn.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I've been thinking about what can I do for the city as Justin's mom. And not to promote any policies or nothing like that, but what could I do, for the city as his mom? And I've been thinking about that, and what I do best is being a mom.
Yeah.
Maybe talking to other moms, encouraging other moms.
Yeah. You gave a lot of life lessons here today. I mean, not even, you gave a lot of encouragement and a lot of lessons about, feeding into your child and sowing into them and nurturing the mind and spirits and soul. I mean, there is a lot there, but also, like you said, and now that journey's over, what you gonna, your free time, like your kick it that you about to have.
Yeah, turn up.
Well,
Robyn and I come get you. We'll get you together.
Right.
well, I hope to travel. Right now, I'm helping with my mom, so I can't go too far away. But I hope to travel. I hope to become more involved in the arts. I love theater and stuff like that. I love going to charity events and doing those kind of things.
Lady Gilmore says you have her as one of your sisters. So now you got a new sister.
Oh,
So
thank
now
you.
you got somebody to hang with.
Thank you.
Can you tell us about the Bible? When you mentioned your mom, I was thinking about his grandmother. Can you tell us about the Bible's, I think, 28 years old, 28 years old? The one he took the oath on?
The Bible, Justin and I bought for his granny, his dad's mom. I was really close to her. Maybe not in the beginning, but as time grew and she saw what kind of mom I was, she grew to love me. And when about 28 years ago, I believe it was for her birthday, she wanted one of those was it Salem Bibles? They don't print them anymore.
Okay.
Where they have all kinds of clip notes on the side.
Okay.
And we bought that Bible for her. We had her name engraved on it. And originally, we wanted the Bible when Justin when he graduated from law school, and it was, you put the hand on the Bible and take the oath for a lawyer. Mm-hmm. But then it was revealed to me that he was going to take the oath on that Bible. And the Bible still has some of her writings in it that's kept there. When Justin went to Israel in 2018, he walked around with a prayer that she wrote when he was in college. And when he went to Israel, he wrote additional prayers and put those prayers at the Western Wall and left it there. Mm. It was just that Granny was always that spiritual compass, for us. Yeah. She always prayed for him before he went to college. She, whenever we was in a jacked up place, she was always ready to help us get out the hole a little bit. Okay. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So, and whenever you see Justin wearing a purple tie, that is homage to his granny.
Oh, wow. Because that's her favorite color?
That was her favorite color. And 2 hours before she passed, she says, Justin is not going to be what he thought he was going to be. I seen him in a purple robe. So when he graduated from law school, his hood was purple.
Oh, wow.
She said that she went to go live with Jesus.
Wow. Wow, that's powerful. That's powerful. So do you see now why I just enjoyed our time together? I'm sitting here soaking up these stories. Then, including now.
He's been surrounded by such, oh my gosh, spiritual women, such powerful women of God.
Yeah.
Do he know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do he know what he been surrounded by? Ooh-wee.
Yeah.
Grandma and you, and I'm pretty sure there's more.
Yeah. Granny. Yeah, Granny was...
For her to speak that before she left, wait a minute now.
2 hours later, she was gone.
She was like, you wasn't the only one that told her to put the basketball down.
Right, this is done. This is done.
Purple hood. I'm out.
One of the things I like about him, and I have not had many occasions, maybe a few, took the very first, right after the election, to communion together in church that following Sunday. That was November 13th. Holy Trinity.
Oh, okay. That following Sunday.
Is that he does listen though. You see it in him, and all great leaders have to be able to listen and hear. If you were to give us some final nuggets for us, because I'm a listener, and I take nuggets away and I process them. I listen to my spiritual mothers like Lady Gilmore and Dr. Pointer and others who pour into me. And my spiritual sisters too, like Robyn. I listened and I processed. What are some nuggets that you would give for us? When I left you, one of the first things I asked before leaving you was, can we pray? And you said, yes, absolutely, pray. And so we didn't care. We was in public at a restaurant. I don't care. So Justin, I probably wanted people embarrassing him too. Crying, praying, doing. People like, oh Lord Jesus. What are some pieces that you'd give us?
Never give up on your dreams. There's always hope, and it's not over till it's over. You know, sometimes when this door closed, we like, oh, it's over. But then it's always another one. And sometimes we think it's a setback, and it end up being a setup. You know what I mean? So I'm one that's, I will never give up on something that I really, really want. It's always a way, because God gonna show you the way. And if it's not for you, He's gonna show that to you too. You know what I mean? So I say never give up. Don't give up on yourself, because as women we deserve the best that life has to offer.
Come on.
But if we don't know that we deserve it, life is not going to give it to us. It's not going to come up and say, here,
Right.
take this good thing. Because we don't even know it if we don't think that if we don't feel as though we deserve it.
Right.
So we have to walk in our own truth and our own destiny and know that we are queens too. And in order to raise a king, you got to be a queen.
Come on now. Absolutely.
I didn't know that in the beginning
Right.
of this journey, but today I know that I'm a queen.
Well, one thing is for sure, and I speak for myself. I speak for Pause, the show. I speak for Robyn. Robyn, I don't speak for me. We're gonna pass this show being prayer for you, because what I understand, and I don't say this in any, because I don't fear the enemy, right? So people who like better get to praying, because you know the higher you go, you become a target. Okay, you ain't the target. Ain't higher than the blood. I'm not about to live my life in that type of fear. No, I'm just praying for her because I know that the word in her mouth is powerful and it's gentle and it's sweet. It is. It's sweet. So I'm praying for you for that reason, not because I fear some attack of the enemy. I understand how the enemy works, but I understand how God works too.
Absolutely.
And that's more powerful, you know.
Absolutely.
So I'm going to join you, especially in these first 90 days of his administration, praying, because you know, and I would do that probably for whomever the leadership is.
Absolutely.
And everyone at this point, you all agree, don't agree. This ain't politics, you all.
Right.
We need change and light in this city with the stuff that's still going on, the violence, the poverty. This young man need our support, you know. How could you sit back and do anything else but that? So, you know, I'm just asking others who hear that too. And if you don't pray, just send a positive light. If you have nothing, you know, our parents said, if you have nothing nice to say nothing at all.
Absolutely.
Just keep it to yourself.
Amen.
And let this new administration and destiny for our city.
I'm praying for the word that you have for the mothers. You spoke a good word today, and I believe that you set something forth with what you spoke today, because it's not a message that is being spread enough. We are in an age of empowerment and walking in your own truth, and everybody's truth is their own selfish ambitions today. But you spoke a principle that needs to be spoken more of. And so I know that this ain't the last time you're going to speak it. And so I'm praying for that, praying that you continue to speak it with boldness, and that God continue to give you the platform to keep speaking it for our young ladies. Our young ladies need this word.
Absolutely.
This mother, we need to get back to some wholesome, just some good mothering. For our, these generations.
Because it's a sad state of affairs when you 11-year-olds have rap sheets.
Yes.
Come on now.
Yes.
Absolutely.
It's sad.
Boys and girls.
Good boys and girls.
Yes.
Right.
So who failed who?
Right.
You know what I mean? Our children see us.
Yeah.
We're the first teachers. We're the first examples. So we're going to lift everybody up in prayer. And thank you so much. This was fun.
This was fun. Yes.
This
We
was
are
so
so
fun.
proud
So
of
much
you.
fun.
It was fun.
We are so proud of
Your
you.
story. Woo.
I
Powerful.
told you,
Powerful.
she was in
Something
her own
else.
right.
Something else.
I am the piece I wrote, the real version, the second version. I'm re-recording it for you, and I'll have that for you.
And we have a gift for you.
Oh, thank you.
It's
Thank
a
you so
relaxation gift. You can check it out,
I can use it.
so you can take a pause and relax.
It's your relaxation, your official pause toolkit. How about that?
There you
All
go.
right.
Yeah.
And you're the
Well,
first
thank you
person to
so
receive
much.
it.
I
What is
really
pause? What
appreciate
is-
this opportunity.
What is pause? The acronym is purposely acquiring unique spiritual experiences. It's time to go.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you all so
Bye.
much. Our first guest of the year.
Bye. Bye-bye, everyone.
Hallelujah.